Welcome to Our Voice. I'm Rebecca Evans.
And I'm Kim Peek. We launch our show with a great story of hope and inspiration with young author Stacia Mers and her mom, Lori.
Great story. And also we sit down with Matt Pipkin, who encourages others to speak their silence.
That was a powerful story, really powerful. Then we talk with a panel of women about intimacy through our life's changes.
And finally, we sit down with Life's Kitchen, who's serving up second chances.
And there's so much more, so stay with us. As you know, we film here at CenturyLink Arena with great support from the Grove Hotel,
which has incredible amenities, including sports like hockey and basketball, but also the pampering spa.
Exactly, and they have an amazing fitness center as well as a wonderful gourmet restaurant.
Let's go to that later. What
Let's
do you think?
do.
Cheers?
I think we should. Cheers to that.
Okay, but before that, coming up next, Kim is doing an incredible interview with this really fabulous young author. Her name is Stacia Mers, and her mom, Lori, joins us, so stay with us.
Our Voice has welcomed authors such as Cameron Morfitt and Kelly Nielsen. Today on the set, we have another author with us as we welcome Lori and Stacia Mers to the set. Lori is an advocate in her community, supporting causes such as Idaho Charitable Women's Foundation and also Camp Rainbow Gold. Stacia is in junior high, she loves to sing, and she is a published author. So welcome, ladies.
Thanks. Nice to be here.
Yes, we're so glad to have you here. So Stacia, I want to get right into the story. How old were you when you wrote your first book?
I was 8 years old and I was currently in 3rd grade.
3rd grade, 8 years old, that's amazing. So tell me kind of how an 8-year-old goes through the process to write a whole book on her own.
Well, my friend helped me go through the book by writing on note cards to get the process in my mind.
Okay, and how did that help?
It helped me get the process, and then from the note cards I would transfer the pictures on the note cards to actual paper, which would turn into a book.
Turn into the book. And so what's interesting about that is you started with pictures and then kind of you wrote the story after the pictures?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. So tell me what inspired you to write this book?
Well, I was a cancer survivor, and so that I thought in my head, oh, I'm a cancer survivor, so this would be really cool to tell the world how I got through it, since there are a lot of adult-based books on cancer, but there aren't many about kids based on cancer.
And not only about kids, but written by kids, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So Lori, as Stacia's mom, tell us a little bit about what that was like during that time, about her diagnosis and how the treatment went.
Well, the thought of writing a book, had never even crossed our mind until our friend Jane mentioned the idea, who is, as Stacia mentioned, an author and publisher. But the more I got to thinking about it as a mom, the more I thought it might be good for Stacia to actually go back, write her story. And as she mentioned, when she was diagnosed, there just were not a lot of kids' books out there. My first instinct was to go out and find a book that I could read to her that would help her understand what was to come.
Right.
And there just wasn't anything there. And so we felt like it might help her through the process, but then it also might be a tool to share with other kids or the local hospitals about Journey and what to expect.
Okay, so was there any concerns you had about her sharing her story at that level?
One of the things that, yes, in fact, we talked to Jane about that, is that we were very cautious about how public we would go with it. And so book sales was not an aspiration at all. We totally were like, okay, whatever this does for Stacia, great. Wherever this book is supposed to go, we just prayed that it would get in the hands of those people who needed it the most. So we were cautious, though, because we didn't want to put her in the spotlight right at that time.
Yeah. So you talk about how it could help other people, but then also, I mean, just your thoughts about her writing the book. So how did you see it help Stacia as she went through this process?
We actually saw kind of a zest. She smiled. I think it was actually a really good distraction for her, because when she started writing it, she was still going through treatment. And so it was a good distraction. It gave her something to do, and also I think it felt like she was giving back, that she knew she was going to help somebody, and that's part of her nature. It's just wanting to help other people.
Well, it sounds like it was such a positive focus for her to have as well during that time. So Stacia, share with us your book. What's the title?
Well, the title of my book is The Girl Who Had a Big Adventure, Cancer, Chemo, and Cupcakes.
Okay, and then you've mentioned your friend who inspired you and helped you with it. So tell me, who's your friend?
Jane Freund, an author and publisher.
Author and publisher, and she just kind of helped you go through the process and everything.
Yep.
So we've talked about how it helped you and your desire that it could help others. So tell me what that's been like as you've seen the book go out to other kids and how they've been able to read it and what that's been like.
Well, my friend Jane Freund, she has had many friends who are going through cancer or some type that is similar to mine, and so she has had me sign a book and given it to them. Or I have gone to schools to read my book and talk about my cancer journey and how I went through it and how it would help other kids who are going through the same thing.
Okay, so let me get this right. How old are you now?
I'm 12.
You're 12. You're 12. You've had brain surgery. You're a cancer survivor.
Yes.
You're a published author, and you're a singer.
Yes.
Okay, at any age, that would be quite an amazing list of accomplishments.
Yeah.
So you've done all of this. So now what I want to ask you is, as you look to the future, what's one big goal you have for yourself?
Well, I really would like to stay healthy.
Yes.
And possibly write another book about how I am feeling now that I am healthy, and what is happening now that I'm not sick anymore.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And so is part of that desire to, again, help other people?
Yes.
Yes. And I would think it's not only helping other people go through the cancer journey, but seeing you can survive and come out of it stronger than ever in many ways. Do you feel like that's part of your story as well?
Yeah.
That's great. Well, I'm going to ask you to hold up your book again, and I'm going to ask your mom to share with us how people can get a copy of the book themselves.
Sure, absolutely. The book is available on Amazon.com, and if you just search by Cancer, Chemo, and Cupcakes, the short little version, it'll actually come up, yes.
Okay, that's great. Well, Stacia, thank you so much for being on Our Voice. This has been a very special story to hear how you've done, and we'll look forward to seeing what you do in the future.
Thank you.
And Lori, thank you. It's so great to see a family thrive through a difficult situation.
Thank
So
you.
that's
And
really
the exciting
awesome.
thing is we just celebrated her 5-year post-anniversary from treatment just
Wow.
a while ago. So
April
exciting.
21st.
Oh, not that you're keeping track or anything.
No,
No,
not at all.
not at all. So, okay, well, thank
Thank
you,
you.
ladies. So, coming up, Our Voice interviews Matt Pipkin, the voice behind Speak Your Silence.
There's an incredible movement here in Idaho called Speak Your Silence, and it is led by Matt Pipkin. The other day, I had a chance to sit down with Matt and talk about his campaign. I wanted to take that opportunity and share it with you. So Matt, I'm so grateful to have you here on the set. Tell us a little bit about your program, Speak Your Silence.
Yeah, so we're a nonprofit focused on breaking the stigma of child sexual abuse. So that's our mission.
Okay.
We're essentially in the business of moving it from being this awkward, taboo issue to a cause that people can be really excited to champion.
Okay, right, and I think that's one of the things is when it comes to sexual abuse, especially with children,
Yeah.
people have a hard time talking about it. It's just something that has been unspoken for
Right,
years.
right.
A lot of that is shame, revolves
Right.
around shame, and just knowing you can give it a voice.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
what got you involved? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I went through it as a kid. I was sexually abused when I was 6 and then kept it secret for the next 20 years because I
Wow.
come from this great family and I lived in 20 years of fear that I would devastate them if they found out what I'd done. And so finally a few years ago out of college, I hit this low point after losing money in real estate, having my heart broken by a girl, and just feeling like I wasn't good at anything. And I finally made the connection between what I went through then and what I'm going through now, and I shared with my parents, and they believed me and they loved me, and then I went to a counselor and he totally changed my life. So I wanted to take what I'd gained from this experience and share it with the 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys who go through something similar.
Right. Yeah, the statistics are extraordinary.
Yeah, they're ridiculous.
To look at those numbers and go, all these children that are impacted. You personally were impacted. So there was a pivotal moment for you, you know, where you realized you made that thread. And I think it really, I mean, when I hear you tell your story, it's, you know, it's about self-worth. It's about how you viewed yourself. And so many victims blame themselves. So I could see that blame game happening in financial crisis and relationship crisis.
Anything that goes wrong, you blame yourself. That's
and we live in a society that encourages you to blame yourself. So that doesn't really help. So tell us a little bit about what the organization does. How does this work?
Yeah, so we have two parts. We have the Stitch, which is our public presence and a way for people to really be part of what we're doing. And then we have our counseling program.
The Stitch, wait, we have to pause on the Stitch. So you gave me the Stitch kit.
Yeah.
What is this?
What is it? Yeah.
I'm going, thanks.
What is it? So this, I'm wearing it right here. The Stitch is physically symbolic of your voice frequency.
Okay, so it's like the up and down, what your voice would look like on a screen.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Audio.
So when you wear it, it physically symbolizes your voice in support of people you love to share their stories. So you wear it on your clothes, on your backpack, you name it. So that directly fulfills our mission because it creates conversations in a way that we never could. And
so this is a brand. People
see
this,
and
but it's a sewing kit.
Indeed, yeah, that's our
so
first
how
product.
does this work?
Yeah, so
I sew it myself.
Indeed.
Okay.
Yep, a needle and thread. You sew it into whatever you want, your favorite items, and wear them. And people ask about it quite often, and
they go, "What's that?" And you go, "Hey, this is a safe place for you to tell your story." Basically.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. It's so simple. People have recognized it, and the more and more times they see it, they ask about it, or they've heard about it before and they recognize it and say, "Hey, I know what that is."
Do you think in your own life, if you would have seen this, and you know, when you were 10, when you were 12, and you said, "Hey, what's that?" and they say, "Hey, this is a safe place you could talk."
Right. Yeah. I think if I had realized that I wasn't the only person who's been through something like this, and that people would support me and not, my life wouldn't be ruined if I shared my story, I would have shared it so much sooner.
So obviously that was a defining moment for you, but since you've launched your programs, Speak Your Silence, has there been any other defining moments that, you know, you go, wow, this was really pivotal?
Yeah, the Stitch. The Stitch is what it comes down to, because we'd been around for, I think, 6 months. We'd existed before the Stitch. I'd even had the idea. So we existed, we had this counseling program, but there was no way for people to really be involved and do something besides giving money, and that's not everyone's thing.
People want to do something.
Yeah,
they want to feel like
they want to take action, be part of something. So, and we wanted to build a community, a meaningful, powerful community where each person has a unique role. And so the Stitch was this idea that I had. I wasn't sure about it at first, then tested it out and saw that people really liked it, and it was simple, people understood it. And if they didn't, and they weren't going to be part of it anyway. So, but they've really, really latched onto this, and so it's given people this really unique way to own it in their own way, make an impact in a way that only they could make, that we couldn't make, and everyone has their own story of why it matters to them. So it's been pretty neat.
And what they do with it.
Everyone wears it for a different reason.
So this is like going out in the world in a really unique way.
Yeah, we've been selling it for 2 years. We've sold a lot anyway, but we were just in something called the Cause Box, which is Cause Box.
Okay.
So it's a subscription box company of social good products that women around the country get every quarter and discover new brands.
So it's a subscription box. I would subscribe to this. This box comes to me. I open it up.
Yeah.
What's inside?
Social good products. So products with a give back. So a fair trade coffee with a give back, or a beanie made by women in Uganda that sustains them on a local economic basis. So and then the double impact of the Stitch is that 100% of profits from it fund our counseling program. So there's the double whammy of good. You're wearing it, making an impact in your own way, plus your profits are funding someone else's counseling.
Okay, so if people want to get involved, where can they go? What can they do?
Yeah, so the best way, well, you go to speakyoursilence.org and wear the Stitch. Really, that is the most beneficial thing for us to grow and for you to make an impact.
So, well, Matt, I mean, I want to, first of all, thank you so much for Speaking Your Silence. I mean, I think the one thing that you're doing for so many people is you're giving them hope. You're not letting some event in your life define you.
Yeah, no, you're worth far more than that.
Yeah, and I love that message that you're putting out there, because I think it's really critical. People need that, because everybody's been through something.
Right, we've all been through it.
So Matt Pipkin, speakyoursilence.org, and you, the viewer, you can go and get involved. Do it today.
Thank you for sharing that story, Rebecca. What was your big takeaway?
Well, honestly, just watching Matt, he's so young and he has bravely just spoken out about something that a lot of people have a challenge talking about. And he's encouraging others, talking about their own abuse because it's so healing. So I'm just so impressed with him.
That's
really great. Yeah.
That's great.
Well, coming up next, we are sitting down with a panel of women talking about intimacy. You're going to want to stay with us. Hi, I'm Rebecca Evans, and I am here with Our Voice television show, and we are talking to Claudia Kreamer and her husband Bill, and we're talking about kind of a delicate topic regarding intimacy, or actually the lack of intimacy as we age. So first of all, I want to thank both of you for being here on the set, bravely coming forward and just talking about like some of the challenges you've had as a couple. So who wants to start?
I will.
You'll start. Okay, tell us your story a little bit.
Okay. At 39 years old, I had a hysterectomy, and I took hormone replacement therapy for 9 months, and I felt amazing for those 9 months. Well, then I developed a blood clotting disorder, was never able to take estrogen or any of the hormone replacement therapy treatments that were available. So we went 20 years with nothing for me, raised our children, started to have time for ourselves again, and wanted to bring back the intimacy and the closeness that we had in our marriage at the beginning.
So what I want to focus on is how the challenge with intimacy was really impacting you as a couple. What was going on there? So Bill, can you talk about that a little bit?
There was a lot of discomfort on Claudia's part, and it kind of killed the mood, and it just, as a man, you don't want to see your spouse,
in pain.
Yeah,
that's not the point.
Discomfort.
Yeah. Right.
So, that was a real big issue that we fought, and hence the lotions and potions and stuff that we tried to alleviate the problem, and didn't really work as well as we'd hoped, and it kind of made our intimacy kind of less and less.
How long did you stay in this holding pattern of not really getting results and being in frustration?
Oh gosh, probably 10 years.
The last 10 years.
A decade.
A decade.
A decade.
I mean, we just started feeling old and before our time.
That's correct.
What I want to do is I want to flip over and I want to talk to one of our counselors that comes on the set here at Our Voice. Her name's Jennifer Cochern, and we're going to talk to her. Is this really an issue that we deal with from just a psychological standpoint? How important is bonding as a couple? Stay with us. So we decided to bring some experts on to really get some answers. Is this an issue? Is it really a problem? Is this all in our head? Is this something we can deal with? Is it something we should just ignore? So first off, I want to start off by introducing Jennifer Cochern. She's a licensed counselor here in Idaho. Jennifer, from your standpoint, I mean, how important is intimacy? Is this a problem you typically see with couples?
Intimacy is critical, and I know that we use the word intimacy to mean different things.
Oh, good
So
point.
if we're talking about intimacy in terms of closeness, connection, it's a huge issue.
And so for a couple like the Kreamers, they went 10 years without really being able to be intimate, without that frustration. This is critical in the health of their relationship from an emotional standpoint.
Yes.
That bond, that intimate bond.
Absolutely.
Okay, we also have Dr. Simon, and she's a board-certified gynecologist. She specializes in women's issues just like this. And Dr. Simon, first of all, from a physiological standpoint, is this an issue that we really have, or is it all in our head that, yeah, we're aging, things have changed down there?
Yeah, intimacy, like Jennifer said, it's crucial. It's a crucial conversation that all couples need to have. It is something that's vital to keeping your relationship on track. Men are happier. We know that.
Right.
When they're able to be intimate with their wives. They're happier in general.
Right.
Women feel disappointed that they can't give that to their partner.
Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna bring the couple back on the set. We're gonna see what they decided to do. There's some options, from hormone replacement to the Mona Lisa, some different options. They did try something. Let's take a look. What did you guys choose to do?
We chose the Mona Lisa procedure with Dr. Simon,
Okay.
and it has changed our life.
Okay, so first off, the Mona Lisa procedure, probably the majority of our audience doesn't know what that is. So do you want to describe it briefly?
Sure. So the Mona Lisa procedure is a CO2 laser. And so what happens is when you do this CO2 laser procedure, that stimulates the underlying mucosa to build new collagen, and what that does is it holds water. So aging is kind of like a dehydration process.
I mean, neither one of you had said your marriage was like on the rocks, but do you think it kind of saved you in a way? I mean, taking you guys to the next level or where you really wanted to be? Because it sounded like you were going different directions there.
Absolutely, yes.
Well, it made us feel younger again because we were kind of getting into that rut, kind of an old person syndrome, you know, where you just kind of coexist and
right. Well, you're roommates. That was the term that you used, Claudia.
Yeah.
You were
So
roommates.
you know, it just brought back a lot of the feelings that we had when we were younger. So it's been great.
And don't you find? Can I interrupt?
Yeah.
So don't you find that it helps with other aspects of your relationship too, not just in the bedroom, but everywhere? Don't you have like a new kind of attitude or lease on life?
We do.
We do.
We talk more.
We want to
have
do other
more
things
fun.
together too.
Yeah.
We laugh. We're taking a road trip this summer. We can't wait.
And I think really talking about this on the show, I think other couples are going to go, yes, we have that challenge. We don't talk about it. You just gave everybody permission to do that.
It's like Claudia said, it's just so easy to do.
It is.
Yeah.
It's so easy, and I wish more people knew about it.
Right.
Right. Well, hopefully this will help. And Dr. Simon, if anybody wants to get a hold of you, how can they do that?
The easiest way is Simply Simon Health is located within my regular medical practice, which is Rocky Mountain Hormone Center.
Okay.
And the website is just rmghc.com, or they can call 939-3505.
Okay, great.
That's
and
the
we
easiest way.
We have that information on the screen. Thank you so much, all of you. I know this is a delicate topic to share, and it took some bravery to come on the set. I am proud of you for doing that and giving a voice to this challenge, because I think you're not alone there, and our viewers, you're not alone either. We're an aging culture, and I think this is really important to have this discussion. So I'm really grateful that you guys did. Thank
Great.
you.
And thank you for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, stay tuned. Welcome back to Our Voice. You know, the idea of new beginnings offers all of us hope. And here in the Treasure Valley, we are blessed to have an organization that nourishes new beginnings. Joining me today is Maureen Marchant. She's a social worker over at Life's Kitchen, and she is joined by Goldie Oren, who you graduated from the program, correct? Mm-hmm. And Spencer Flock, you are currently a student in the program. So first of all, Maureen, I wanted to start with you and just ask you, tell us a little bit about Life's Kitchen. I mean, what's it about? We've all heard it. I've eaten there, but I know there's more to the program than
Absolutely.
meets the eye.
There's so much going on in the kitchen. We have, it's a program for 16 to 20-year-olds and who have barriers to jobs or life skills, finding apartments. So they come into our program, and we use cooking as a way to develop those skills. We also do life skills each week, so they learn how to budget, and they learn how to find an apartment and pay taxes, how to apply for jobs, build a resume, all those really important life skills that we just don't have a class. Exactly. I sit in often, and and then we also have a counseling component or a social work component. So we help them, we case manage with them about what their goals are, what are the obstacles if they are living at home, trying to wrap around services. And there's 3 components to the program. We also cook for a lot of organizations in town, provide food and soup for Interfaith, and then we do a catering business, and then we also have the cafe. So they're,
So there's different categories.
Absolutely.
And how long is the program?
16 weeks.
16 weeks. So that's an investment.
It is.
So when they sign on, that's an investment.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Goldie, you've graduated from the program. So first of all, congratulations.
Thank
16 weeks is a big commitment. So what's one thing that you learned being part of Life's Kitchen, as you graduated from the program?
Yeah, probably being independent. Coming into the program, I really was dependent on my parents and my friends. But now I'm very sociable. I am not as anxious, and I'm able to talk to people and serve people. And
You're on camera.
Yeah. And so that was a big thing for me. Like
great.
I used to be very like antisociable, and so that's probably the biggest thing for me. Yeah.
Great. Well, congratulations
Thank
again.
you.
So Spencer, you're currently in the program. So how long have you been in the program?
This is my second week.
Your second week, so you're brand new. How's it going so far?
It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
I love the environment.
Is there anything that's a little daunting or a little overwhelming when you're first starting because it's so new?
Yeah, I've never really had like a full-time job besides, school, and it's basically a job. You're working pretty much all day, but yeah, I love it. That's like the only thing that's kind of hard right now.
The only thing that's hard is that you love it.
no, the only
teasing.
thing.
Yeah.
You get it.
Yeah. So what would be your advice if there's kids out there, young adults who are going, hey, yeah, I need to kind of get a little more independent. I want to get my social skills up. I want to get some job skills here. What would be your advice to them as far as Life Kitchen goes?
Definitely. Well, with Life's Kitchen, it helps me get out of my comfort zone. Like every day, I'm getting out of my comfort zone, which is really good for me, and I could already see the changes. So, yeah, I'd say if you like cooking, you like working hard, you definitely like this.
So do you have a story that you'd like to share with us? Either something inspiring, really great lesson that you've learned or witnessed along the way at Life's Kitchen?
I've been a social worker for a while, but what's really special about this organization is there is a magic to it. Anyone who stands up and graduates through the program in that 16 weeks have really made remarkable changes in their life. I just haven't seen anybody that hasn't. So I think that is something that's just very, very special. We have students who have come from very low places in life, and now they're out and they're working in the community. They're finding what they want to do. It's really, there's a lot of success to it.
Well, I'm proud of both of you. Spencer, I'm proud of you for stepping up and taking a chance and throwing yourself into this. And you've not only graduated, you're back helping other students graduate. So it's really, I love Life's Kitchen, and I'm so thankful we have this here in our community. It's such an icon. I know there's some big changes coming up in the future, but if people want to be part of this community, support Life's Kitchen or learn more about it, how can they get in touch with you?
They can log on to lifeskitchen.org, like us on Facebook. You'll see menus, you'll see all the things that are going on.
And you cater, so if you have a meeting coming up and you want to get some catering, you can
absolutely
do that as
everything from box lunches to weddings. So and they're they all participate in making that food. So it's a great experience for everybody.
Right.
So
well, gosh, thank you so much, all of you, for coming on the set, and I am so excited. And you go out to Life's Kitchen, get a great bite, great food, great location, great people. Be part of the Our Voice community at Our Voice Idaho.
And participate in our conversations on our Facebook page.
We want to take a minute to thank our sponsors because we really wouldn't have a show without them. And we want you, the viewer, to remember that your voice matters.
On Our Voice.